We are so excited to have you here. This is our monthly, and actually will be our last, at least for a while, our very last monthly overview of the celestial weather, our May energy report. And man, I got notes and notes and notes and notes. So we got a long overview of the month. So I'm excited to have you all here. I'm here with Teresa Miller. She is the director of the Understanding Human Design membership community. And our program today, if you will, our weather report, our celestial weather report today is brought to you by the Understanding Human Design community. This is a community where if you're a member of our community, you not only get monthly reports, you get a weekly report. That's usually, it's like a cut. Today, I just did the weekly report for next week, and it's like 23 minutes. So you get actually as part of our membership, an overview of the celestial weather for each week, in addition to getting written contemplations and journaling exercises. So before we get started, I want to just share just a couple of minutes of what is the Understanding Human Design community, because it's a really incredible resource for you. And I want to make sure that you're aware that it's out there. You know, I created this online community because I found that when you first start learning your human design, you start to speak a different vocabulary, right? You start to see the world differently. You start to talk about the world differently. Your own understanding of yourself begins to shift. And sometimes we need support in that journey. We need support with people who are oftentimes going through the same things. We need support in getting the information that we need. And you don't want necessarily professional, you don't want professional training. You don't want all of that in-depth information. You just want information about you and your chart and how to live your design and how your design impacts your intuition. That's actually, we did a class last week on human design and intuition and how to really explore how your intuition works in your chart. We talk about your design and money. We talk about all kinds of things, and we've got live coaching in there, and of course, an incredible community. So I just want to share a little bit about the Understanding Human Design community and share just some offers with you. So we have 3 to 5 live coaching calls each month. So either I'm leading a call most weeks, and every once in a while, Teresa pops in. And you all don't know this about Teresa, but Teresa is one of the world's top creativity coaches. And so Teresa brings her background in coaching people around creativity and writing and self-expression into the membership. And so when I'm not there and Teresa's there, you guys have way more fun, I think. You guys do all kinds of really fun things, exploring the relationship between your chart and your creativity. In addition to the live weekly calls, we have a private community. So you get connected into a private community where you can network with other people who are exploring human design. And we actually have had people who have met up for coffee and who are hanging out together in person. But of course, it's an incredible community that's just hugely supportive and really helps you, connect more deeply, again, with your own design. And of course, with others who are going through that similar journey of transformation and self-exploration. We have a series of programs that we teach called the Human Design Expedition. This is a really powerful introductory program. And I say introductory, and I almost say that hesitantly, because even though it covers the basics of type, strategy, authority, emotional themes, the lines in your profiles and all the centers, and then we go through the gates and we look at the gates in the context of how to find your life purpose in the chart. Even though it's technically basic, it is the most important information you need to understand. And I would say understand and integrate on a cellular level about your chart. And so if you're really curious about your chart, how to live your design, this expedition program is something we run. We actually run it over the course of 3.5 months. And it's just an incredible, powerful way to get more deeply connected to your chart, even if you think you know your human design. I actually go through this program myself personally every year because I know that there's so much depth in understanding these core elements of your chart. This program is available for you to participate in. You can do it on your own as a member. You don't have to do the live calls, but we do specific live calls for the expedition when we're running it live. So you can come to a call that's all about type, or come to a call that's all about profiles, or come to a call that's all about centers, and really go deep, deep, deep into interpreting your own chart, which is really so, so, so powerful. As I said, part of the membership is we have weekly energy forecasts. So you get a little video from me. It's not always a little video, depending on what's going on in the celestial weather. You'll also get written assignments. You'll get a free PDF version of the 2024 Quantum Human Design Evolution Guide. So you get in-depth readings about the gates and the transits and what's going on in the celestial weather each week. And as my thank you to all of you for being here today and learning about what's up in the month of May, if you have not tried our membership yet, I want to invite you to receive a free month trial membership today. We'll post the link for this in the chat as well. But I want you to come in and try it. Come in and do some of the expedition courses. Come to our monthly class. I think this upcoming month, we're going to be talking about personal empowerment in the chart, right, Teresa? And how you can connect with your personal power. Teresa, talk to me just a minute, because you are our director of the Understanding Human Design membership. Just give us a little bit of an insight. Like, what is it like to be a member in the community?
It just gives me so much joy to be a part of what we've created. Everything that has been put together for the membership is designed to give you a greater sense of self-love and love for the people in your life. Mm. And it's such a warm, welcoming community. People make connections. They have friendships that carry far beyond our regular calls. People get together outside of our calls and have such a deep connection with each other. The weekly forecasts prepare you for the week ahead. The expedition is probably one of the most amazing courses in understanding your own human design, and that's available as a member like immediately when you join. It's there. You can dive right in. And our weekly meetups, there are a variety of formats that are it's designed to give you the autonomy to explore and experiment on your own without ever feeling not supported. You get the coaching, you get the connection with the fellow members, and you get plenty of time to integrate and self-study and explore on your own. And you get to turn it into whatever you need it to be. It's you get to write your story, and that's
literally we do a lot of creative play in there. Yeah, it's an incredible, as I said, it's a really great experience if you're wanting to go deeper into your chart, if you want to really explore the practical applied way of living your design, if you want to play, if you want to connect with other human design people. It's just a really powerful place to come and be part of this community in a much more in-depth, much more personal way than just being online. So, cool. Thank you. All right. Let's do May. You ready to do May, Teresa?
Let's do May.
All right. I'm going to start and just again, so that you all are aware, I actually purposely do not use slides for these just because I want you to listen and not get too lost in looking at where is that in my chart? Where is that in my chart? I want to remind you that over the course of time, all of the planets, which have their own theme, shine their light on one of the 64 gates. And I was doing the celestial weather report today for the next week for our members. And I was thinking, it's kind of like playing football. It's like the gates are like the football, right? And the planets are like the members of the football team, and they're tossing these gates around. And each time they catch a gate, it's like that gate gets experienced through a different theme in the hands of the different, celestial football players. That was the way my brain works today. So we'll just roll with that. All right, let's talk a little bit about what is going on with May. There's a lot going on. So take a breath and get your pens and pencils out. We'll post the recording of this so you can go back and refer to it later. And here's the thing I want to start us off with. I want to sing, but I won't sing. But there's a song that says, "Looks like we made it." That's the theme for May. We made it, right? We have had just the bumpiest start of the year. And it's been a really beautiful, intentional bumpiness. And it's been a bumpiness that really has highlighted two very distinctly different gates. And those gates have been the football, right? Being passed between all the different planetary players. And those gates that we've been really playing with since the beginning of the year are the gate 51, the gate of initiation, and the gate 42, the gate of conclusion. And so we've had sort of this start and energy happening, and oftentimes at the same time. And really the purpose of the first 4 months of this year, including the eclipses, has really been about, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to release? What do you need to bring to a completion so that you can begin anew? You can reconnect with your purpose, reconnect with your values and what is really valuable to you, and really begin to construct a new narrative, a new story, a new beginning, literally a new beginning, that's going to bring you into a deeper connection, deeper alignment with your authentic self. That experience of the last few months has probably felt, for many of you, very bumpy. If it's been bumpy, post in chat so we can send you some extra love, because it has definitely been a bumpy season for many of us. And it's been intense and it's been emotional. And there's been a lot of fantasy and a lot of truth telling and a lot of difficulty in assessing what is true and what is not true. And so it's really been, yes, so bumpy, right, Danny, right, Andrea, right, Jan, right, Kathy? Very, very, very bumpy. I'm not going to say the bumpiness is done, but I'm definitely going to say we're coming around the corner and we're going to kind of see a beginning change, a different quality of energy in the celestial weather. So all of you who are posting about the bumpiness in the chat, please make sure that you all hold your hands up and just send love to everybody in the chat. Because really, it's been a season where we just need to be sending love to each other. Because and really looking at everybody's experience and saying, I see you, hold on. Because May is coming and I think it's going to start to shift a little bit. We start the month of May with a shift in the human design creative quarter. So May the 2nd, we had the beginning of a brand new creative quarter. So the human design year is split into 4 creative quarters, and each creative quarter has a specific theme that we work with to support us in really manifesting, creating what we want in our lives. This new creative quarter that started on the 2nd of May is called the Creative Quarter of the Template. And it is a time when the sun, which is really the big theme that gets highlighted for all of us. So the sun shines its light on a theme. It's the football player with the big spiky fire on it, right? The sun shines its light on an archetypal theme, and it brings us an energy that we are working with as part of our personal growth and expansion and part of our creativity. The sun, during the quarter of the template, shines its light on all of the gates of the throat center and a bunch of gates in the root center. So what this does for us, first of all, here's 3 things I want you to write down, 3 themes that I want you to write down that are going to carry you through August. Write this down. Ready? Speak, act, create, and then rinse and repeat. Speak, act, create, rinse and repeat. Speak, act, create, rinse and repeat. Our words create a template, literally, energetically. And when we communicate, when we talk, when we speak, when we use language, and when we take action, the way the throat center works is it's literally building a template, an energetic template, an information template that begins the structure of building what's next, right? It begins the work, the energetic work, and sometimes the physical work of laying the foundation for whatever it is that we're building. The root center is really, it's where we're grounded. It's what connects us to the earth. And there's a feedback loop between the throat and the root. We speak, we act, we create. And then in the root center, we look at what shows up in response to that initial beginning, that new beginning. And then we look at it and we say, I like that. I want more of that. Or we say, no, that wasn't quite what I was thinking. It's for the third line profiles, right? Wasn't quite what I was thinking. Let's start over again, or let's tweak this over here. Or let's add this. So we're in this really powerful creative cycle of speak, act, create, rinse, and repeat. So now here's the thing I want you to realize. Be with all of this focus on the throat. First of all, I want you to construct an internally and externally self-generous practice. Okay, I'm going to say this again. An internally and externally self-generous practice. Because there's power in the throat, but there's also vulnerability. And it's a place where we express ourselves from the heart of who we are. And when we are using language that is self-disempowering or self-harming, that isn't building the template of what we really want with our minds, when our language is being used against ourselves, which is something we do to ourselves, we actually say things to ourselves that we would never say to other people, right? But that's part of the matrix within which you're creating. So stop it. So again, an internally and externally self-generous practice. And I want you to remember, I create as I speak. Abracadabra, right? That's Aramaic. Abracadabra is an Aramaic word that means I will create as I speak. So think about that, because your words are incredibly powerful. And I think it's Don Miguel Ruiz, who says, be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. And really, really just really use language as the rebar for whatever it is that you're constructing, as the framework for what you're building. And make sure you start it with a good matrix that is powerful, worthy of you, that is everything you deserve for yourself. And that's a lot, which is a big theme of May. Because in May, when we start off on this creative quarter, the creative quarter starts on the gate 2, the gate of allowing. And that gate 2 is saying, hey, how good are you willing to let it be? Do you trust that it can be as good as you deserve? Do you deserve enough? Are you settling? Is it time for you to open yourself up to receive and allow yourself to get more, to have more? Absolutely, always. So we are challenged in this quarter to allow ourselves to soften enough, to open enough, to be receptive to all the good that is ours, all the good that is important, all the support that is important for us to really allow ourselves to receive everything we deserve to receive. Now, I'm going to go a little bit backwards in this month. I'm going to start with the nodes and the big planets and the medium planets and the small planets and then the sun Earth last. So we're going to start next with the nodes, because our nodes shift. Actually shift, I think, this Friday, upcoming Friday, not today, next Friday. So the nodes have been highlighting, the North Node has been highlighting gate 51, that gate of initiation, and the gate 57, that's the South Node. So that's left us in this, potentially for some of you, and maybe, I know I have felt this, and maybe you have too, a little bit like you've been in survival mode. You know, there's been shakeups and unexpected twists and turns in the plot outline, and then your instinct is kicking in. And in the shadow of that, it may have left you feeling like you're in survival mode. In the higher expression, it's been an initiation. This is an energy that is about getting really, really real and really, really honest, and ripping away all those things that don't fit, and intuitively trusting that you'll know what you need to know when you need to know it, and not letting the fear of letting go hold you back from moving forward. That's been sort of the big plot outline in the celestial weather for us, really since last year. Now, as the nodes shift, the nodes are shifting on May 11th to the North Node highlighting the gate 21, the gate of self-regulation, and the South Node highlighting the gate 48, the gate of death. And really what these two energies playing together bring to us is a theme of discipline and self-regulation. And so really what the nodes are saying is, the nodes are saying, okay, y'all have had a shakeup. Y'all have been wondering, where the heck is the sidewalk? I've got my foot lifted up, right? I've got my foot up in the air. I'm about to take another step. I don't know where to put my foot because the sidewalk disappeared, and now I'm standing on one foot trying to figure out, where do I put it, right? That's been January through April. Now, remember, we're in the quarter of the template. Now, the nodes are saying, okay, Coast is clear. You got rid of all the other stuff. You did the work. You let go, you released, you realigned, done some healing. Now, to stabilize all that you have done, you need to be disciplined, right? You've got to slow down. We've been like high speed, whoop, this changed, whoop, that changed, whoop, this changed. Now the nodes are like, okay, we got you. But it's time to slow down. And now it's time to do the work. And the work that we're doing is foundational, literally foundational. So the nodes are saying, what do you need to construct underneath your dream so that whatever it is that you're building has a good, strong, solid foundation? So we are really being invited now into a cycle of really doing the work. And that means the internal work and the external work of constructing a matrix for your dreams that is internally and externally self-generated. In other words, making sure that your internal and external environment is a reflection of how deserving and worthy you are. And making sure that you're not settling for less than what you want, okay? All right, now we're going to do the big outer planets. You ready? We're going to start first with Pluto. Pluto is a collective planet. It represents big themes that we go through. And those themes, especially right now, the themes are really all about dismantling outdated systems. I like to think about where we are celestially in terms of the astrology is kind of like this. If you think about system theories, systems kind of grow in a curve, right? They have a growth curve or a growth arc. And at a certain point, and this is true of every single system, a system will reach the end of its capacity. It'll outgrow itself. That's the nature of systems, right? So if you understand systems theory, you know that it does that. And when a system starts to outgrow its capacity, it starts to tank. It comes apart. What happens is as one system ends, a new system begins. So at a certain point, you have a nexus point between the old system and the new system. And that's really kind of where we are right now. That's really where we're going to be until 2027. And in this nexus point, there's a conundrum, right? There's a conundrum, and that conundrum is often highlighted by Pluto and Uranus, right? So we have this conundrum right now of these two arcs, this dying arc and this new arc emerging, these two arcs of systems emerging, and we're at a crossroads. And that crossroads can be a really big tension point when it comes to evolution. Because what happens at this crossroads is that you've got one group of people from the old system who are like, no, we don't want to go forward. We want to go back to how things used to be, right? So you have conservatism. And I'm not talking necessarily about politics. I'm talking about the idea that if you really look at what does conservatism means, it means you don't want to move forward. You want to conserve the way things are, right? So you've got this conservatism energy of like, I don't want to go forward. I want to go back to how things used to be. And then you have mutative energy, right? This momentum of people who want to go forward and do everything different. And in that nexus point, there's an important job that has to happen. And that job is the people who want to go forward have to look at what is already working and make sure that when they go forward, they're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You actually need conservatism and mutation, both to have an effective cycle of growth. The conservative energy, eventually through critical mass and through watching what is working, eventually the conservative energy will soften. And it doesn't necessarily always go away, but it softens to where there's not as much resistance to forward momentum. But we're in this crossroads right now. And so for the last few years, Pluto has been highlighting the gate 60, which is the gate of conservation. And we've been in a cycle where it may have felt to you like, wow, we were doing so well. We were moving forward. And now all of a sudden we're moving back again. We're not. We're just in this nexus point of growth that's happening between the collapse of old systems and the birth of new systems. Now, Pluto shifted earlier this year into the gate 41. Now, the gate 41 is the gate that the Human Design New Year always starts with. So when the sun hits the gate 41, we have our Human Design New Year, usually happens somewhere around January 21st. This gate 41 energy is all about new beginnings. It's about imagination. It's about exploring possibilities. It's an incredibly powerful, beautiful energy that starts to bring about new things in the world. It really kind of highlights the idea that Everything starts first in mind, right? Now, when Pluto goes retrograde, it's going to hover a little bit in the 41, but by the end of the month, it goes back to the gate 60. And it's going to sit on that gate 60, that energy of conservatism, until October. And so I want to just share with all of you, if you start to feel like, wow, things are getting better. Now they're getting a little bit, resistant again. It's normal. Retrograde cycles are really important in celestial weather because they give us an opportunity to kind of start forward and then take a pause and really assess, okay, are we headed in the right direction? Is this actually working? Is this really where we want to go? It's a good pause point. And I want you to remember this statement. Whoever's taking such good notes over here, you can add this one in here because somebody's taking really good notes in chat. You ready? 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still 1 step forward. So if you start to feel like, wait, we're sliding backwards, we're just stopping and reassessing. We will eventually go back to the gate 41 where Pluto will sit for quite a while, for several years. But right now, we're just sort of getting ready, right? We're building momentum for that next shift. And I will say that I will not be surprised if we don't see a little bit more of resistance come up in the next few months. I think it's interesting and a little bit like, because it's happening right around election season in the United States. But, I would say don't get too emotionally involved in anything that happens until October. Just take an observant perspective. Take some deep breaths. Remember that 2 steps forward, 1 step back is still 1 step forward. Do the math. All right. Neptune continues to highlight the gate 21. The gate 25. That gate 25 energy is the gate of spirits, the gate of your higher purpose. Neptune is a spiritual planet. It highlights spiritual themes. And so we have this really beautiful energy from Neptune that's like saying, hey, I know it looks messy, but it's going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. Trust me. Trust the process. Trust in your higher purpose. Trust in your heart. Trust your heart. And everything's going to be okay. So don't make any of this too personal. Just keep dropping into that heart space. I really want to encourage you, if you don't already do like heart coherent meditations or anything like that, make sure that you are taking care of your heart, rest in your heart, connecting with your heart on a regular basis. Uranus is highlighting the gate 23, the gate of transmission. Now, I said there's 3 gates I want you to pay attention to this month, the gate 8, the gate 23, and the gate 23. I made such good notes that the gate 22. Okay, here we go. Uranus on May the 13th goes conjunct with the sun, meaning Uranus and the gate 13. Uranus highlights gate 13 and the sun highlights the gate. Numbers, back up, starting over, pushing pause. Uranus highlights the gate 23. On May the 13th, which is my daughter's birthday, the sun also highlights the gate 23. So we have Uranus and the sun in the same position. And that's a very interesting position. I definitely would say it's a time when there may be surprises, a time when there are some really deep insights. That gate 23 is the gate of transmission. It is a place where, what I would say, clear cognizance happens. So when we have this energy playing out in the celestial weather, we know things and knowingness drops in. It's like a download. And it's an interesting download to experience because you know that you don't know how you know that you know, but you know that you know. And you don't get yourself twisted up trying to figure out how you know. Just trust your knowingness. And certainly I would say on May the 13th, take some deep breaths and see what shows up. And I really want to encourage all of you this month in particular, make sure you're giving yourself enough time to really pause and just sit and think or look out the window and drool because your brain is going to need some time to process itself, to integrate all of its thoughts. On May the 18th, this is so cool because on the 13th, we have this big, very interesting sort of mysterious and possibly surprising deep insights and awarenesses and truth revelations. On May the 18th, we have the luckiest day of the year. Okay, so get ready, start planning accordingly now. On May the 18th, Venus conjuncts, well, it's actually not the luckiest day of the year. There's other lucky days this year, but it is a good lucky day. It's other lucky days this month. There's a lot of lucky days this month. So on May the 18th, Venus is conjunct Uranus with the gate 23. Okay, Venus is conjunct Uranus with the gate 23. The issue is I can't read my own writing. What that means is that be prepared on May 18th to fall in love at first sight, or to be struck by Cupid's arrow, or to have deep heart connections with people in really unexpected and beautiful ways. So, whatever insights are coming, whatever awarenesses are coming, really beautiful and powerful things are shifting for us. And just be prepared for the unexpected to be quite delicious and quite beautiful and quite good. Okay. I'm moving forward. That's a lucky day. I'm moving forward to the even luckier day later this month. Saturn. This is a hard one. It's a hard one for me. I have this hexagram tattooed on my arm because it's such a hard hexagram for me personally. All right. So Saturn this month highlights the gate 22, also known as the gate of surrender in quantum human design. Okay. So Saturn is our teacher. Saturn brings us these big themes, and Saturn has a tendency, if we're not following the course properly, to yank the rug out from under us. Saturn is like the tower card in the tarot deck. It's like, if you're familiar with the tower card, it's like the whole tower comes down, right? And you're standing on the foundation of where the tower was standing before, and you're kind of picking up every brick like, hey, am I going to use this? Am I going to use that again? I don't know. What am I going to do, right? So that's sort of the energy of Saturn, but it's a really beautiful teaching energy. What really Saturn does is it clears the deck, much like we've been doing all year, for us to really get clear about what's valuable and what do we really value. So this gate 22 energy being highlighted by Saturn is really kind of saying, trust the process. Trust the process and don't push against right timing. That's an important theme for us this month. Don't push against right timing. You cannot go out into your garden and scream at the seeds to make them grow faster, right? You can't stomp your foot next to the bed of the gardening bed and force the seeds to bloom on demand. The gate 22 says there's a divine timing and a divine process. Jana, Saturn is in the gate 22 all month. This is all month, Jana. You can't rush the process, and it has its own timing, and it's divine timing, and it's really showing us that we are supported, and to not second guess it, to not get up in your mind with it, and to let the process unfold. When we do that, the reward or the blessing, by the way, isn't that nice in line with the nodes? Like the nodes are saying, get disciplined, make sure the matrix is really good and solid and healthy. And Saturn says, and trust the timing, right? And then Jupiter comes along and says, because Jupiter is where if you do the work of Saturn, if you relax, if you surrender, if you trust and you let go, then Jupiter says, hey, here's your payoff. This is where the payoff for the waiting and for the patience and for the presence and for the trusting lives, for the surrender lives. And that payoff is in the gate 8, the gate of fulfillment. So I said, you got to pay attention to this gate 8 because it shows up in a couple of different places that are important. So this gate 8, this energy of fulfillment is your reward. And now this gate 8 is a throat gate, right? It's part of the quarter of the template. And this gate 8 is all about relentless, authentic self-expression. And so Saturn and Jupiter are saying, when you trust the process and you stay relentlessly authentic and you don't compromise and you don't settle, because that was the themes we were working with earlier this year, and you've stopped doing that now, right? That when you don't compromise and you don't settle and you be true to who you are, then the payoff will be full support, full allowing, full self-expression, the full freedom to be relentlessly authentic in the world. And that's going to be paramount, fundamental to help you create a creative matrix within which you can build the foundation for your dreams this month and really for this creative quarter. Now, here's the lucky day this month. You ready? The sun is conjunct Jupiter, meaning the sun and Jupiter highlight the same gate. the gate 8, on May the 18th. So Jupiter's planet of blessings, sun is highlighting this its beautiful light on this theme of relentless self-expression, of honest, unrelenting, authentic self-expression. And Jupiter is too. So plan good stuff for yourself on May the 18th, or at least close to there, because it's an important day. It happens once a year when Jupiter is conjunct the sun. It's a really great day for you to really look at how can you deepen your self-love, your self-worth, your honoring and respect of yourself, being relentlessly authentic, being the full expression of the true story of who you are. Okay, May 18th is a lucky day. If you went the lucky days, May 18th again, yes, May 18th, and May the 13th is sort of a surprising day. So May 18th is a lucky day. May 13th, also a semi-good day. Okay, pretty good day. All right. Jupiter, the planet of blessings, also makes a big move on May the 25th out of Taurus into Gemini. So Jupiter's been in Taurus for a year, and now it moves into Gemini, which is really shining its blessings on, again, creativity, creative self-expression, communication. If any of you are involved in the arts or writing or publishing or speaking or anything that involves the transmission of information, Jupiter highlighting Gemini in this energy. It starts on the gate 20, the gate of patience, which is all about waiting for the right timing. The timing is coming. Your time is coming. And so trust, again, in the importance of your creative self-expression, and know that you get a whole year ahead of you where you're going to get a lot of support for getting your message out into the world. All right, let's talk about the moons. On May the 7th, we have a new moon highlighting, remember I said, pay attention to this gate, the gate 2. So new moons are all about new beginnings. This is a place where we start, right? A new cycle, a new beginning. And actually the cycles of the new moons last for 6 months until we hit the full moon in the same sign or the same energy. So the new moon highlights the gate 2. And this new moon is an invitation on May the 7th for us to again explore the question, how much goodness are you willing to allow yourself to receive? Are you letting yourself receive enough? Do you value yourself enough to let yourself receive all the support that you need? Do you love yourself enough to allow yourself to receive all the support you need? The more receptive you can be, and by the way, this is a G-center gate. It's a powerful gate, but it's a G-center gate. It's about who you be. Can you be receptive to all the good that you deserve? Can you be receptive to support? So this new moon really asks us to really explore how much goodness are we willing to allow ourselves to receive. On May the 23rd, we have our full moon for the month. And the full moon for the month highlights the gate 34, the gate of power. And so we go from receptivity and support into an exploration with the full moon, which is all about what do you need to let go of? What do you need to release? We're letting go of anything that's keeping us from standing in our power, from allowing ourselves to be fully receptive and consequently fully contributing all of who we are. That's that gate 8 fulfillment, all of who we are to the world. Because ultimately, your purpose in life is to be the full expression of who you are. That's your life purpose, to be yourself. And by doing so, you take your right place in the cosmic plan. So think about it this way. You have a unique and vital and irreplaceable role to play in the cosmic plan. And when you are fulfilling that role, you make it easier and more powerful for other people to do the same. And the more and more people we get into these right places, right spaces, fulfilling our role, the more we shift the tapestry that is the story of humanity into its full expression. And by the way, the story of humanity says we're designed to be loved and loving. We're designed to be powerful. We're designed to be authentic. We're designed to take back control over our own narrative. We're designed to be supported by source. We're designed to be in bodies that are vital and healthy. We are designed to be fully supported. We are designed to be compassionate and to share who we are with others so that we can create that same level of freedom for every other sentient being on the planet. That's the big goal, right? That's the big goal. But it has to start first with you. All right, Mercury still in the shadow from its retrograde station, but starting to move forward. Mercury highlights the gate 51, gate of initiation, the gate 42, the gate of conclusion, the gate 3, the gate of innovation, the gate 27, the gate of accountability, the gate 24, the gate of blessings, the gate 2, the gate of receptivity, the gate 23, the gate of transmission, and the gate 8, the gate of fulfillment. So Mercury is really, again, kind of catching up with some of the other themes from the beginning of the year. So we're still talking about what happened this year. We're still sharing our insights that we got from the beginning of the year. And as we get to the end of the month, our conversations begin to shift to reflect what we're working on at the beginning of this month. So we're starting to talk by the end of the month about what's next. What do we want? What do we know? What are we willing? What do we need in the way of support and encouragement from each other? Venus starts the month highlighting the gate 27, the gate of accountability, moving to the gate 24, the gate of blessings, the gate 2, the gate of receptivity. We're allowing the gate 23, the gate of transmission, the gate 8 of fulfillment, the gate 20, gate of patience, and the gate 16, the gate of zest. And so Venus, in some ways, is sort of tracking in similar themes, but a little bit faster ahead of Mercury. And Venus is saying, hey, in our relationships, we're going to become more accountable to each other. We're going to stop settling for less than what we want. We're going to receive all the support that we need in our relationships. We're going to begin to share what we know. And we're going to take our time and be fully present and be fully open to expressing who we are with each other. So it's a really beautiful energy this month for Venus. Mars this month highlights the gate 25, the gate of spirit, the gate 17. That's where it's sitting this week. The gate 21, the gate 51, the 42. So again, Mars is a little bit behind it's still kind of dealing with last month. I'm not excited about Mars. I'm not really ever really that excited about Mars. Mars is a very intense place where we have a lot of youthful lessons. We're still digging around in our inner child. We're still kind of working through those places where maybe we still have lessons that we need to look at that make us sometimes defensive and combative. That same Mars energy this month can be really about, again, grappling with and fighting with that idea of surrender and letting go. We're still waking up. We're still healing from the first part of the year. And we're still really working on how do we be here? And again, I want to really bring you back to Mars is really showing us very clearly this crossroads energy. Mars is still saying, wait, no, I'm not adjusting. I refuse to move forward. I don't want to do this yet. Right. And a lot of the rest of the planetary weather is saying, no, I'm sorry, honey. I know you don't like it, but we got to move forward. We can't live in this crossroads anymore. It's too hard. It's exhausting. It's depleting. It's distracting us from the things we really need to be doing. It's causing us to forget that our creative power lies in our imagination and our ability, our discipline, our capacity to be disciplined in envisioning a better future, a better world, and what's next. So I do say that we still may see this month tension, fighting, people getting confused about how to structure peace in the world. I want to bring us back as we kind of come to our conclusion for this month's overview to a really important idea. And this is really the idea that the gate 41 brings us. We are creating, what we create comes from quantum fields of information. And those quantum fields of information, for them to exist, they have to hold the entirety of the idea. So if you think about the concept, let's just start with the concept of peace, right? If you think about peace has to include war because peace is a response for war, at least in the binary way in which we perceive the world right now. And when we start to think in a quantum level, we start to see that peace and war and all the other things included in constructing peace are included in this field of information. Now, what you end up creating in physical reality is dependent on where you focus. Okay, so if we're on this field of information that contains all the horrors that is war, but also all the possibility of peace, we have to literally become the embodiment of the perspective on this field of information that we want to manifest in the world. There's so much wisdom in remembering you have to literally be the change you wish to see in the world. And so if you want peace, as an example, you have to be peaceful. If you want abundance, you have to be abundance. That's all G center energy. That's all you deciding how you're going to be and who you're going to be. And you, by the way, get to decide. There's nothing that is stronger than your capacity to decide who you are and how you are. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. So I really want to invite you, if you want to build a world of sustainable, abundant, just, equitable peace for every single creature on this planet, you have to be that. And that takes discipline. That takes careful construction of an internal and an external environment that matches what you're seeking to grow. And so when we think about that crossroads and the reactivity that sometimes happens at that crossroads, where we keep trying to do things how we used to, but they're not really working anymore. The very first step in moving forward and to the next level of growth, that next new system that we're birthing, is to become the embodiment of that which you seek. And so I'll end with that today and invite you to really remember that you have a unique and vital and irreplaceable role to play in the cosmic plan. You deserve all the support that you need. Trust the process. It'll take the time that it takes. You're fully supported. Keep exploring any place where you've settled for less than and get rid of it. Take good care of yourselves. Really take good care of yourselves. Make sure your mind and your heart are speaking great words, and use those words to create the next version of the future that you deserve. All right, that's all I got for you today. Take good care of yourselves. Don't forget, if you want to join in our Understanding Human Design membership community and get these reports in depth once a week so you can construct and plan and think about your week and get the most out of the week. And of course, think about how you can deepen your connection to your authentic self. Do that. Teresa will post the link again in chat. Be well. Have a great May. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Bye.